le meilleur. Hedonge poindo atoya labuni.
That during the age of the Aquarius, all faulty foundations are bound to crumble. What does it mean? You will start noticing around you, even the big, massive corporation people thought that they were unsinkable as the Titanic will suffer losses, forcing them to close down. So you will see countries, nations that once were known to be mighty or powerful crumble, at the whip of their enemies. You will see a lot of that. And it goes further in our homes. Any faulty marriage that was built on lies, on manipulation, on master-slave dynamic, one giving, the other one taking. Such marriages, such relationships, such whatever, even ties and bonds between family members, all that is going to crumble. Because you know why? Tata Nzambe is cleansing the earth from scums. People whose sole existence is to inflict pain on others. So what does it mean? It means that those of us who have absorbed the ways of the former masters and mimic them around, many of our daughters have become a replica of a deceitful, conniving Caucasian woman. Many of our men have become like these mundeles, these Caucasian, the mind games, the manipulation, the lying, the coming back on their words. These are not the ways of our ancestors. So all the people who have eaten and drunk the poison of Babylon and who are entertaining it or inflicting it onto other people on one way or another, start packing your bags. Because in this time of our awakening, many of you, especially the descendant of the covenanted bloodline, your ancestors are proceeding with distributing powers. The kingdoms that once were destroyed, their survivors, their heirs, are being crowned in the spirit. So guess what? Those of you who are, let's say, a profession that would, represent like an interference with that mission, of course it's not going to work. So what's going to happen? Our ancestors and Tata Nzambe, they will proceed in the removal of what is now an obstacle to them. Because what is prophesied will come to pass no matter what. So our children are now called to start healing. How can we start healing? First, identify, faulty foundation, faulty people around us, people who just drain us, people who pose an obstacle for us to get on our life path. Let's say your ancestors are calling you to go teach children, let's say in Kenya, but the woman you married to tells you no. I don't want to go to Africa, blah, 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 blah. Not knowing that you are now activated. Your ancestors are leading you on a path. And then they give you a specific mission to achieve because of who you are. So I'm very well aware that the survivors of our kings and our priests are among you guys. I've seen them. And no, they're not broken. They're very royal, they're very regal. It's as if like they were never in a plantation, like the peasants. So I know that many of you, because of slavery, you get mingled with many of our royals, whether our sons or our daughters. You had experienced someone in your life who treated you like royalty, but in your broken mind, you thought they were up to something. You started sabotaging. You started stealing from them because our people, our broken people, you married them, but they be preparing to divorce you. You married them, but they're preparing to divorce you. They're stealing money. They're hiding money for whenever they're going to run away from you and what they're going to steal from you. So we have become these people who have enslaved us, sadly so. But first we have to identify who are these wannabe masters in our lives. We have to identify who are these wannabe slaves. Yeah, some peoples also, they like that. They like to have somebody over them telling them what to do, having to report to them, depending that codependency. Instead of healing things that are wrong, we trauma bond. No, we only want to be with people who are as sick as ourselves. So we repeat the cycle, we repeat the vicious cycle. We come out sick, our children come out sick, and so on and so on. It just dysfunction. But now, what is happening around us is forcing us to heal, or we won't make it. So my dear children, we have to reevaluate everything, because in this age of the Aquarius, even the former masters, their children are having an aha moment. Their children are realizing that their fathers lied to them. They're realizing they were told a bunch of bullies. The Africans created it all.
Do you know why they won't teach us the history of Egypt? After you have shackled and enslaved a people, branded, castrated, lynched, burned, and tortured them, you called them 3/5 of a man, subspecies, an ape, a monkey, and a general inferior creation, how can we then admit that they are our teachers and the ones who gave us civilization? How can we admit that we descended from Greece and from Rome, and that Greece and Rome stole everything they knew from Egypt? How to admit that? There's no room in a white supremacist psyche for black contributions to civilization or world progress. This reaches too far into the consciousness of the so-called objective white scholars of academia and their black-skinned counterparts. This is like asking a Nazi to accept the Jewish origins of Nazism, and of Hitler, if that were the case. They couldn't accept it if it were true any more than the white supremacists can accept the African origins of civilization, the African origins of Christianity, the African origins of science, the African origins of everything. Philosophy originated in Egypt. Math originated in Egypt. Theology originated in Egypt. Philosophy originated in Egypt. Letters originated in Egypt. Everything started there. They were as ancient to the Romans as the Romans now are to us. And that's what we don't really understand, because we live now. We don't really understand that the pyramids are 5,000 years old, and that the Romans only date back 2,500 years. Like, really think about that. Because that's the world we live in. A world of lies. I'm reading from J. California Cooper's book, The Wake of the Wind. I am Africa. I am a place. I am a state of mind. Hundreds of years ago, my children lived free. We had our skirmishes within my shores, even small wars that did not disturb my great and sprawling land. We were not perfect, but we never left our shores to seek to destroy or rob any other culture or people, to steal the fruit of their land or mines and leave the land and people ravaged. Nor did we seek to steal any people's love of themselves, nor tell other people they were ignorant savages and inferior while we were superior, as the white ones said to us. They lied so much and long they began to believe it themselves. They cried God with their mouths while holding a knife in one hand and a gun in the other, slicing and firing at vibrant life. They also brought with them other diseases, including endless greed, envy, and hate. Our nations changed. They killed for land, women, or gold, spreading their savageness to all others. And now, they have influenced others. Anathema. Enough. How do we repay our debt to black people? I really want white people thinking.
The former masters, a lot of them are coming to Africa, bow, ask for forgiveness, even try to enter into our spirituality. Many of them are getting initiated. And of course, our greedy priests, they take the money and initiate them, but it's an area I don't even worry about, because the checks and balances of our spirituality, access to our power is no joke. That's why I tell you guys who were stripped naked of everything, pay attention to what is happening. We are Zambe's people, people of light, people of truth, people of purity. Our powers are not of the dark. Don't fear them. But they can never come to you until you heal. A king can never be crowned until he has a real queen next to him. If you have this very low vibrational female, all they do is compete with you on the cool, because that's what they do. Women in America, our sons get the bad rap, but they're really the ones crippling the community. They compete against their men. they would sabotage them right there in front of everybody. It's beautiful. Because the state of the heart of our daughters, many of our daughters, they claim they're not African, but they have the nastiest practices the Africans knew. They have them still. Like feeding our sons period juice. That's the bad use of period blood. Although there are many other wonderful uses, but this is one of the worst use, because period blood in a man's system is like kryptonite to any power he has. So I heard, it was revealed to me, because I asked our ancestors, why are our sons like that? I know they were broken, I know, but it's just like they lost their manhood almost. They told me period blood, period juice. Their sisters have been feeding them period juice, so the masters are done breaking them. Now our daughters and the mothers are bewitching them, spellbounding them. Our people say when something is wrong with the community, call the women. They're the life bearer. They're the one who raised the children. They even revealed to me that many of you have your spouses in jar. Gentlemen, if you have a woman who keeps jars, little jars, you will see her collect dirt. She goes and get dirt in the cemetery and put in a jar and put your name there and do all kind of things. Start looking around your houses. Look in closet. Look in places. People will go and hide stuff. Many of you are under spells. So the Nkulus are ringing the alarm. All this must stop. Our sons must purify. They must heal. They must do everything they need to do to reclaim their masculinity. They can never liberate us as long as you ladies are keeping them slaves between your legs, spellbound, controlled, humiliated publicly. We are going to heal and fast, my dear children. So basically, we have to cut all master-slave relationship. Our sons out there, get the courage, rise. Okay? Reclaim your rights. Don't be the social clown at work. Don't overdo it. Don't be the clown that comes to work making everybody laugh. We no longer the entertainment monkeys. We are going back to gear ourselves up, to wrap ourselves up in expensive fabrics like our forefathers were doing. We're claiming our royalty. Okay? So no more being the clown or the black friend. The black friend. Our sons have lost any sense of decency. Some of them are male prostitutes, two white couples. They can't screw their women, so they have conveniently black friends to do it for them. Slave master. In the past, they will unalive you to touch one of their daughters. Now they're serving her to you, and you go and eat. All these things have to stop. So stop the slave master's relationships with associates, with employers. An employer that just want to put you out in the field, but keep on you for raises, promotion, and stuff like that. Carrie, pack your fine self, your smart self, head that door, okay? Head that door. Don't set yourself up for that. That's why we need to get along, because when one of us set up a company and we let you guys in, what do? You come to destroy it. You come to sue us. You come just for you to go and take abuse elsewhere. So in healing, in ending master-slave relationships, we also have to learn to empower our strong ones. We also have to learn to be a support of those who help. What have our people been doing? We've been tearing down, bringing down, murdering those who help, those who want to set us free. As long as we move like that, my dear children, we're going to be these slaves. not only to the former masters, but to anybody else. Haven't you noticed? All their little friends come and join the party because we've been allowing that. We've been allowing that. Anything they throw at us, oh, we take it. We make it ours. Okay, you're no longer African. Now you're Jamaican. Yes, we Jamaican. Oh, yes, we American. Oh, yes, we this, we Barbados. We even bring the intellect our ancestor brought from home. Okay? Whatever achievement, whatever creation you came and did, the ingenuity came from Africa. No, you came and build wealth for them. You came and showed them everything. My dear children, when someone is in captivity, there's a bit of you keep for yourself. You keep for home. If you ever gonna make it home, and you teach that to your children, you don't give yourself fully like you guys did. Give yourself fully. That's why many of you are hurt when they tell you you're not one of them.
This is where everybody gets it wrong. And when I say everybody gets this wrong, I mean like the African Americans that be running around talking about, I'm proud to be an American, all the way to the descendants of people who enslaved us or treated us wrong if we weren't enslaved, whatever, what have you, all the way to people that live in the Caribbean or any place in West and Central Africa. Everybody is mistaken about the so-called African American citizenship here. Let me help you out. The Dred Scott decision said that African descendants of chattel slavery or who were around, because actually one of the final determinations is that Africans that were brought here at the time, free or enslaved, would never become citizens. And the crazy part is, here's the thing, most legal minds will tell you that the 13th and 14th Amendment supersedes Dred Scott. It doesn't. I couldn't screenshot everything about the 13th and 14th Amendment, but look at that Civil Rights Act of 1866. Trust me, recent years, that has been challenged. And that is our issue here. Our issue is with how these laws and rulings and Supreme Court, whatever, how they're put together is that they can be questioned in the future. And the Dred Scott case said that African descendants, freed or enslaved, would never be citizens. That's my man Dred Scott. But at the end of the day, I'm African. The United States government really hasn't given us any means to think otherwise. In all of our history here, we're Africans. And yeah, we know it's 54 countries and blah, blah, blah. Most so-called African Americans are a multitude of various what we call African countries today, ethnic groups. We're a multitude of everything. That's why we use the general term African. Until the United States government clarifies their point on us, we are African. If y'all walking around talking about, oh, I'm American and I'm American first, trust and believe. If you're looking at what the Supreme Court is doing on everything that they said in the past, they can overturn all this ish. And we'll go back to Dred Scott, and it will say, Africans, whether freed or enslaved, will never be citizens. That's how this government works. I'm African.
Yo, cut the bullshit out. Zin, most Jamaicans, slaves, came from Ghana. As a matter of fact, 90% of it. Because you know we have some mixed people and some Chinese people mixed up down there. Facts. Nigeria. Central Africa. Including the Akan Ashanti them. So when me hear Jamaicans that talk about, oh, me a Jamaican, me an African. You are African. We are Africans. You see me? When you cut the fuckery out and the ignorance. You know what I mean? Like, cut out the separation from from Nigerians and from every African. Me notice even at the music industry, everybody talk about Afrobeat, Garlic, dancehall and blah. Listen, we don't need a separation. You see me? Africans are Jamaicans. Jamaicans are Africans. Facts.
Keep something for yourself. when in captivity. Keep something for your own dignity. Don't stop serving people like slaves. Okay? We have to break the master-slave relationship. Learn to respect yourselves so you can respect other people. When you learn to respect yourself, you won't allow anybody disrespecting you. You won't allow anybody make you a slave. Do you know what, my dear children? Those of you who are royals, I see you guys out there. I see our queens. So sophisticated, so elegant, they're loving, they're generous, they bless everybody, but they usually attract the darkest narcissists because narcissists need our light. When you that king, they love that energy. These narcissists, these broken people, you know, they love that. So yes, our queens will be matched with one of these savages and our kings would be matched with one of these savages. But I know that, I want you to know that in this day and age, this age of Aquarius, all faulty foundations are bound to break. So if you are a peasant enjoying the generosity of a queen or of a king, and you're not showing appreciation, you want to treat them like animals, you want to put a leash on them, on a whole crown, their ancestors are coming to kick you out of their lives. And another thing is like the sneakiness. Yeah, because when they try to control us, they want to bring our self-esteem down. And how do they bring our self-esteem down? Is usually by entertaining extramarital affairs behind our backs. You know, so they could have that oomph to disrespect us anytime they want. The Nkulus are saying they will throw you out of their children's house because the time for them to heal and get crowned has come. So all the imposters, either you're going to raise your vibration, because that's what happened. We are the vibrational match of our spouses. So if you married to someone who's really awakening and is seeking the truth, is seeking the light, they want to give themselves a sense of pride and identity or root, they're doing all this work. And you are a regular black girl who don't care she doesn't have a name, who don't care she doesn't have a culture, none of that. But back then, when you guys met, you were the same vibrational match. But when you're upgrading and they don't upgrade, that foundation is bound to crumble. So, my dear children, keep in mind the master-slave dynamic has to go. And it's now that we're going to deal with it. So, we are nobody's slave, okay? We are nobody's slave. You are not born to be slave. Contrary to what the books say, the oral narration of our people say, we are direct descendant of that God they claim they know. Yes, we are divine. So we have to go back to the ways of our ancestors and fast. So this is it for today. So let's end the master-slave relationships in society. So when you go out with your associate, don't allow anybody take more from you than they're giving. Whether time, whether respect, whether whatever matters to you. You know, same thing for our sons out there in marriages. Don't let a woman stress you, make you a slave. You're a whole king. You know, you the roof above our head. You the sky. You know, how can someone make you a slave? It doesn't work. How are you gonna set us free if you slave in our homes? How are you gonna go and bust up our side on our behalf if we keep you slave and feed you period juice and make you like dumb? It's impossible.
They now force men to do one by one. It's a Christian marriage. This marriage is a Christian marriage. You must live with one wife. That is why the case of a side chick will never stop. All these women loitering around, who will marry them? Who will marry them? And in 5 to 10 years coming, government will have no other option than to force women on men. So that is why I am saying you should not compare. Do not do that comparison that your husband cheats, you will cheat. Normally, every man should be living with 3 wives. This week, this woman will sleep with this man. cook for him. This other week, the second one will cook. Do you know that those days, in the time of our great-grandmothers, as I am now, maybe I'm of age, I'm getting older and weak, I will bring my younger sister and give my husband to marry. Do you know that? That is why men are evergreen. Everly green. Men are foundation. But that is why in Igbo land, if you have not given birth to a male child, you have not started. Are you telling that is why in marriages, a woman will be menstruating and a man will have to wait for 5 days or thereabout? After menstruation, the woman will go into ovulation, mood swing, unhappiness, not being happy, shawarma time, what's it called? Pizza mood. So many moods before she come out of the mood. She will tell the man she don't want to do sex. Now I'm not interested. But in the time of our father, when you are menstruating, another woman will take over. All of you cannot menstruate at the same time. If this one is, if you are menstruating, you cannot serve your husband food. You can't cook for him. You cannot sleep with him. We worship our men like God. Our men are our God. Do you understand? But they brought Western colonization, took our religion, took our way of life, took our culture, took our tradition, took our everything, collected our marriage, gave us white wedding, gave us so many things that is not benefiting us, and suffering our men in toilets, forcing our men to be doing shakwa in the name of masturbation. And you're telling me that as a woman, that you are still going to be insulting your husband. If after watching my video, you continue pointing fingers at your husband that he's a cheat, you are an evil woman and you are supposed to be ostracized from the land. If after watching this video, you say you must cheat on your husband, that he cheat, you cheat, you should be spat on. You should be ostracized, pursued out of the land. It's a sacrilege.
That's why this female, since my last video, they found me empowering African man. They didn't like that. They started sending, emails and all kind of, messages. They want me to give them license to go and screw around because our men have the license to screw around. Yes, that time somebody told them to multiply. They screw around, yes, as long as she's nobody's wife. They have that right. But I can't tell you to go and do the same thing if I know it's going to destroy you. So they're coming for me, they're daring me. Because they know time is up. The time you were holding them by the balls like that, squeeze, no more. Okay, I'm going to teach them. It's going to lead us to our next video. I'm going to teach them how to reclaim their masculinity. In my next video, I'm going to teach our son how our fathers deal with our mothers back at home. Our fathers speak once, okay? A Bantu woman has to be handled in a particular way. She's too powerful for you to play around like that with her. So, see you in my next video. Reclaim your masculinity, the Bantu way. My dear son, I'm going to give you hints on how to handle them, like your fathers do back at home. Okay, my dear children. So until next time, peace, love, and unity. Mwah.
Le meilleur, Ngningone II,